Well, I can't watch them all. I missed Rebirth until this week, but it was released on September 5th in select theaters and on demand. And honestly, had I seen it before the September 30th deadline, the film would definitely have shown up somewhere, probably towards the middle, closer to the top, on my best in horror countdown. But at least I get to cover it now and pass the word on about this tragically awesome movie. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Through our tedious lives, we press many important buttons, but if you could do me a favor and hit that like button down below, share this video with all your social media addicted pals, click subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. I'd be in your eternal debt. Rebirth is new, streaming on Shudder from IFC Films. It's directed by Laura Moss and written by Laura Moss and Brendan J. O'Brien. When her daughter Lila, played by A.J. Lister, suddenly contracts meningitis and passes away, a beleaguered nurse, Celia, played by Judy Reyes, discovers her body has disappeared from the morgue. When she follows the mortician Rose, played by Marin Ireland, home after witnessing some suspicious activity, Celia finds her daughter alive in Rose's home and uncovers an insidious experiment that twists all of the ethics the two have sworn to uphold in the medical field. Rebirth is a wonderful dual character piece about science gone awry. Both of these women have sworn an oath to uphold the ethics of medicine, but the most fascinating part of this film is seeing these two desperate women move the ethical goalposts further and further back as time goes on. In order for Celia's child to live, sacrifices must be made. Filmmaker Laura Moss and her co-writer Brendan O'Brien do a fantastic job of humanizing these two characters and then dehumanizing them, giving them unsurmountable odds, and then making them break their own rules in order to conquer those problems. As a character piece alone, Judy Reyes and Marin Ireland bring two tragic perspectives of medicine to life eloquently. Aside from being practitioners of medicine, Celia is a dedicated mother, and Rose is a dedicated scientist. The way this film sets up the conflict each character has with their own moral code of ethics is a truly fascinating thing to see unfold. Out of both women, Marin Ireland by far is going to be the most haunting of the two. While all of the emotional heft is carried by Judy Reyes as the mother of the dead child, Ireland is the driving force of the film. The way Ireland portrays what seems to be a very autistic woman who feels absolutely nothing and looks at everything in an analytical way is downright chilling. Ireland is robotic at times, going through the motions of being human without really having any human interactions with anyone, at least until Celia shows up and brings out as much humanity as Rose has. Ireland, who was fantastic in last year's The Dark and the Wicked, dazzles once again as a unique and ultra-talented voice in horror cinema. Rebirth is what some might call a slow burner. These two women inch towards the abyss for the entire runtime, but because the two characters are so rich and play off of each other so well, I was never bored at all. There's mild gore and a tragic animal death, which I knew was coming, but for the most part, this movie is all about the emotional horror. There are so many themes in this one, but the pervasive one I took away was how the drive to attain a goal can take over the reason why you set out for the goal in the first place. Celia desperately wants Lila back, but once she shows signs of life, yet none of her daughter's personality, she fights tooth and nail just to sustain that life. The film reminded me of people who keep their pets alive long after the pet should be, through medications and all kinds of treatments. In the end, the pet is alive, sure, but it no longer is the companion it once was. And why is the pet being kept alive? Is it for the pet's sake or one's own selfish reasons? This rationale can be applied to the way Celia and Rose treat the young Lila, who is merely a shell of the vibrant young girl she once was. The most haunting aspect of Birth, Rebirth is the shackles both Rose and Celia wear in order to keep fighting for Lila's life, and how there really is no end to it in sight. The way this one wraps up is truly chilling and indicative of how far over the edge these two women have become. It's a harrowing journey that borrows elements from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and plays it out with raw emotion that will drill deep into your heart. Sporting two performances that are better than most horror films combined, Birth, Rebirth is a masterpiece in ethical horror, showing how far humanity can be bent before it breaks altogether.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. God live the life that you are meant to be. Live inside